We have another sad, very sad result of a Donald Trump presidency and a post-Trump presidency America. An ex-North Carolina police chief was detained by immigration officials because of his name. So his name is Hassan Aden, and he was basically stripped of his Fourth Amendment rights in this case. But here's what Raw Story says. A retired police chief from Greenville, North Carolina, harshly criticized immigration officials who pulled him out of line, stripped him of his possessions, and detained him due to his name. Writing on Facebook on Saturday, retired cop Hassan Aden said he was returning from Paris, where he helped his mother celebrate her 80th birthday, when he was singled out and pulled from line by a customs official at John F. Kennedy International Airport who asked, "Are you traveling alone? Let's take a walk." I was taken to a back office which looked like a repurposed storage facility with 3 desks and signs stating, "Remain seated at all times and use of telephone strictly prohibited." My first sign that this was not a voluntary situation and in fact a detention, Aden wrote. By this point, I had informed CBP Officer Chow, the one that initially detained me, that I was a retired police chief and a career police officer and a U.S. citizen. He stated that he had no control over the circumstances, that it didn't matter what my occupation was. According to Aden, after handing his passport over, he was told that someone was using his name and that he had to be cleared so that I could gain passage into the United States, my own country. Aden said that he was not allowed to leave or contact his family. At the same time, an official told him he wasn't being detained. Really, not a detention, huh? Okay. He had the audacity to tell me I was not being detained. His ignorance of the law and the Fourth Amendment should disqualify him from being able to wear a CBP badge, but maybe fear and detention is the new mission of the CBP, and the Constitution is a mere suggestion, he wrote. I certainly was not free to leave. As former law enforcement, believe me, I agree that if certain criteria is met, a reasonable investigative detention is not inappropriate. The key here being reasonable. Reasonable. Detaining a former police chief is not reasonable, okay? One of the main law enforcement guys of that whole police department has been detained because of his fucking name. The retired police chief then warned anyone can be profiled, even when they can prove they're also in law enforcement. I spent nearly 30 years serving in the public law enforcement. I interface with high-level U.S. Department of Justice and federal court officials almost daily, he wrote. Prior to this administration, I frequently attended meetings at the White House and advised on national police policy reforms. All that to say, if this can happen to me, it can happen to anyone with attributes that can be profiled. No one is safe from this type of unlawful government intrusion. So the unlawful government intrusion he's talking about is the shredding of the Fourth Amendment, which says protection from unwarranted search or seizure. So you can't just be searched for no fucking reason. You can't just be detained because you have a profile sounding name, Hassan. You can't just detain them for that. This guy was an ex-North Carolina police chief. He's done more to protect this country than you have by far. He was former law enforcement. And I've actually seen this marijuana legalization debate in which one of the men arguing for the legalization, or moreover the decriminalization of it, was a cop himself he actually got locked up. So if you can be profiled, make no mistake about it, there's a chance that they will get you too. Because this has happened many times to different people. And he was African American, he was a cop, he was law enforcement, he was cracking down on drug charges, and he gets fucking locked up. What the hell? For no reason. So this whole thing is just ridiculous, right? This North Carolina police chief, the poor guy, he was detained for no reason. And this is the sad, sad result of the Trump administration. And that's why we need to get this fucker out, so that we don't get consumed by this kind of fear, this xenophobia, Islamophobia, and straight up racism. Like, we can't have this anymore. The shredding of the Fourth Amendment cannot go on any longer. What's up, guys? It's Sahil here. You guys are watching The Progressive Voice. Make sure you guys click subscribe down below. We're fighting Donald Trump tooth and nail, and we need your help.